Welcome to Back of the Room. I'm your host, or the host, or a host of said podcast, Back of the Room. Thanks for tuning in, watching, listening, just clicking on it and let it run in the background without actually watching or listening to it. That works too. That's still a view. Thanks for doing what you do. I got another solo episode for you. Nobody here again. Didn't plan it out. Didn't schedule a guest, which is fine. We'll get another guest in here soon. Gonna knock out another solo episode. Just gonna kind of do a June wrap up, I think. Haven't done one of these in a while. I got a few banked. Not great at getting them out there on time because, you got to edit them and promote them and all that, and I am not that good at that at all. So I'll bank another one, see what happens. Get that bank full, and just save them. You got to save, and then they build podcast interest, I think, and then one day they don't get you any money still. But that was a bad analogy. It's not a real bank, obviously. It's a metaphorical bank. But yeah, let's do a June wrap up, I think the first weekend of June, did a show with Nick Kuvar and Lance Kane. And Nick's girlfriend, Monica, was there. She drove us to Decatur, Illinois. Did a show there at a bar. And it was great. Everybody there was ready to see comedy. I think they had bought a ticket. They were very attentive and laughed, and they were awesome. So shout out to Decatur, Illinois. It was at a brewery. Had a few beers, had some pizza. I almost ate an entire pizza by myself, which probably shouldn't have done that, but I don't like wasting food, I think a couple other people might have had a piece or two, but it was a pretty good-sized pizza. Thin crust, so cut myself a little slack, but yeah, I almost ate an entire pizza by myself. But, that's something I got to work on. Show was great, though. Decatur, Illinois. The next weekend, did another show with Nick Kuvar and my wife, Molly, and it was not so... didn't go as good as the last one, we'll say. I appreciate everybody coming out. It was sold out for this bar, and it was tough sledding, as they say. Thought you'd kind of get a few laughs going here or there, and then this lady in the second row just being like, and I have to be like, what? You suck. And then you tried to, just play whack-a-mole with the 3 or 4 ladies that were yelling dumb shit out, stepping on punchlines, which didn't help things. I'm glad that everybody was there. I hope they had a good time. A lady that was sitting in the front row was standing on the outside of the door when I was walking out, and she said, "Oh, thanks, that was great." But she didn't laugh one time during the show, so, hopefully there was more people like her, because apparently she liked it, or she lied to us. I don't know what her deal was, but she didn't laugh during the performance. Well, what are you going to do, Some people did laugh. It was hard to get them rolling a little bit. There was people talking a little bit on the side, and, it's tough in that setting. I don't think they probably have a lot of shows in Rolla, Missouri, and that's all right. I'm glad they came out. I hope they had a good time. But just don't talk. That's my advice for audiences. Don't talk, and if you hear something you don't like, just wait a second, especially with me, because, I do short jokes. Wait 30 seconds, minute tops. I'll be on to something else, I'm sure. Hopefully you'll like that better. But that's the comedy game, guys. You can't win them all. Nobody can. There's Jerry Seinfeld can't win them all. I'm sure he wins most of them and has won most of them his whole career, but he's lost a few. So, there's that. It was cool. I always like doing shows out of town. I'd like to do it a little more, but you got to plan that stuff out. Not a good planner, although I try to get better at that. But yeah, comedy, baby. Here at the open mic tonight, hoping to get on and tell some new jokes. Maybe I could go back to Rolla and tell these new jokes, and those ladies wouldn't yell shit out or not laugh. But, it happens. I think I got a few new ones that could work. There's not always a great gauge on what's going to work and what's not in my brain. But, yeah, I'm hoping for the best, I like them. Let's see if the crowd likes them. Yeah, what else has been going on? Last weekend, or two weekends prior, I'm talking about the bank, folks. I got all these banked. Who knows when this is coming out? 2 weekends ago was Father's Day. Shout out to all the fathers out there. Shout out to my dad. I love you. Had a good time with him. Went up to Foley on Saturday and hung out with him. And worked on some of his cars. He's got a bunch of old cars he likes working on. So did a little welding for him. I did a little mechanic work. We were working on trying to get an old Lincoln started at one point. And, I think we made some progress. So that was a good time. And then on Sunday, or should I say Sunday, we went to the IndyCar race. It was a Gateway Speedway over there in Illinois. My brother got me some free tickets. He got at work or something, so went over there with Dad, and it was awesome. It was cool to see. I did fuck up pretty hard on the timing of the event. We got over there about 1 o'clock, 1:30, and I thought the race was going to start at 2. And we were looking around and doesn't seem like there's that many people here. There's people walking around, getting some food. I think they had a thing where you could get a signature of a driver, that kind of stuff. That was going on. And then we got to the bleachers at 2 o'clock. We're like, well, we're right on time. And there was no one in the stands. And then a vintage car race started. They had these older cars from the past, some from the 30s, some from the 60s, some from, 2002. They were zipping around the track. That was kind of cool. And I was just like, what the fuck is going on here? We could see the actual Indy cars, in the infield, still in the trailers, or they were starting to get them out and get them prepped. Just there's nobody here. I thought the race started at 2. Pulled out the ticket. Oh, the race starts at 7 p.m. We're 5 hours early. It's fuck. That's a long time to just wait at a motor speedway. You can only eat so many corn dogs, And I should have got a corn dog earlier. I didn't. And I'm still craving one. But, we checked out a little bit of the vintage race, and then we decided, all right, let's leave and come back. So we left. We went over to, where did we go? It's O'Fallon, Illinois is where we went. Driving around there. I'm like, all right, let's just go to a movie. We went and saw the John Wick Ballerina movie with Anna de Armas. Anna? I don't know. It was pretty good. I've always seen all the John Wick movies with my dad, so it kind of worked out. I kind of forgot it was out, but it was pretty good. John Wick was kind of in it a little bit, but it was kind of just like a female John Wick movie. And I liked it. It was pretty good. So that killed a couple hours. And, had some popcorn. I should have got a corn dog before we left. I'm still regretting not getting the corn dog. But, got some popcorn there. Went back to the racetrack. And when we got back there, it was crowded as fuck. Everyone had come in. And we had to wait in line to get in, in the car. Had to park like a million miles away and walk back to the track. The lines for the corn dog booth were a mile long, so I was like, fuck. Couldn't do that. I found these frozen margarita things. So I got a couple of those at one point because it was a short line. And then the race started. I think we missed maybe the first couple laps. They had some pyrotechnics go off like right when we were walking up, which was pretty cool. Looked really bad for the environment, but it looked pretty cool. It was just kind of some black plumes of smoke, and I guess maybe that was a firework, or it was probably more like an explosion kind of thing. It looked dope, but that black soot kind of hung around in the air a while. So we got to check that out. Cars were zipping around. I'd never been to an IndyCar race. It was pretty awesome. More followed. My dad kind of followed NASCAR more in my youth. So got to see the Indy cars. There was a couple wrecks. They're open wheelbase. So if you hit the wall in one of those, you're kind of fucked. Can't really bump and grind or anything, but they're very fast and pretty cool. And then the dude that won 2 years in a row, or 2 or 3 years in the past at St. Louis, said his car kind of crashed in front of him, and then he flipped over that car onto his lid and skidded for a long ways, and they had to come flip his car over, make sure it wasn't on fire, and it was pretty cool. So, I'd recommend it. People were into it. There was tens of thousands of people there on time. Not that many people there at 2 p.m. when we were. I guess we're real fans, but I just fucked up the time. So, it was pretty cool. It's a lot of this. Just like meow, 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 meow. The guy in the last place, he was way back there, but it was cool. It's kind of hard to follow because they're going so fast, and you can't see the other side of the track that well. We were kind of sitting right by the finish line, and the bleachers are on that side. But they did have like a big screen, and they had like announcers, so it was not that hard to follow. And they had like a leaderboard thing. It was pretty cool. I'd recommend it. And I think my brother said he's going to try to get tickets for the NASCAR event coming up later this year. So it's a big race year for the Day family. But yeah, it was pretty cool, man. Then we left a little early just because we had been out and about all day. And, I think we missed the last, 50 laps or maybe more-ish. But it was cool to see. And I think, once the race was over, it started raining. So I was kind of glad that we left early and got out of there. I'm an old man now, and I'm just like, well, you gotta beat the traffic on the way out, and we definitely did. So we got out. People that were stayed the whole time probably had to wait, an hour or more to get out of there because there was like 1 or 2 exits, and it was a pain in the ass to get in there. But Indy cars, check them out. Meow, meow, meow. It's pretty cool. I think I'm going to take a quick break. Check out the open mic situation. Maybe check out the list. Hopefully I make it. I'll come back and wrap things up. Do another snippet. Thanks for listening and or watching. Back of the room. And we're back. Sitting here in the back of the room. Did a open mic set. I went third. Didn't go that great. Could have went worse. Did my new jokes, which I still liked. I don't know if they liked them. I got a couple of giggles. Kind of a smaller crowd tonight, but I think they got potential. They're very dumb, which you got to be on board for, I guess, but I liked them. Yeah, nobody's doing that great out there. I've been watching a little, been hanging out. It's an open mic, you know. Yeah. To wrap things up, I guess, with the what I was talking about earlier, you know, I fucked up the race thing. It's very far off on the timing of things. So this past weekend, doing the June wrap-up, it's not a thing, but could be. Angela Smith, former podcast guest, was having a birthday party, and it was SNL themed. That's important for this story. So, me and my wife, we figure out what we're going to wear. Kind of late. We kind of pushed it a little too late probably, but Thursday we decided we were going to dress as MacGruber and Vicky St. Elmo from MacGruber, the movie and SNL sketch. So we, put some clothes together. Surprisingly, we had most of the clothes that we needed to kind of look like them. On Friday, I picked up some sunglasses at a gas station that looked pretty good, and I found a random wig and Halloween stuff, and I started I put it on and I tried to trim it up, trim the bangs. Had a picture of MacGruber pulled up and was trying to make it look MacGruber-esque. I did all right. It should have been a little more blonde, but you got to work with what you got, you know. So, got the wig looking pretty good. Had a vest, had a flannel shirt, had these pants probably. And, I think we looked pretty good. Molly had on a flannel shirt. Kind of did her hair all kind of 70s-like. And we set off on Friday night to go to the party. We show up at the place, and we take 2 steps into the building, and I immediately realized that something is very wrong, because there was just 250 people in there, all dressed very preppy, and there was nobody in costume. So I was like, what the hell? Nobody's dressed up. And then we walked over to the bar, and everybody was just staring at us. I was dressed like MacGruber, mind you. Molly was dressed like Vicky St. Clair, which isn't as bad. But yeah, the guy was like, hey, can I help you? And we were like, yeah, we're looking for Angela Smith. Is this her party? And he was like, no. I'm like, oh, fuck. And then Molly looks at her invitation again. Oh, it's Saturday. So she fucked up the timing on this one. But, what are you going to do? I don't know if I was more embarrassed dressed like MacGruber walking into this most likely engagement party or baby shower kind of thing of these uppity, preppy people. Maybe they're nice people. I don't know. We're the ones walking in there looking like jackasses. But they had to be pretty confused also. Just like, hey, you remember at 7:30 or 8 o'clock when that guy that had a wig on clearly and Kind of looked like MacGruber, if I'm being honest. He kind of just walked in, and everybody was like, what the fuck is going on? And then they kind of just scurried out the back door. What was that all about? Well, we got the wrong night. So we got in the car and we were just like, fuck. It was kind of funny, but kind of embarrassing on my end. But what are you going to do? And then we just went and got dinner at Zia's on the hill. Had some pasta, had some chicken parm myself. It was pretty good. So turned out to be a good night, and you know, it's a little embarrassing, but it happens. I fucked up the race time. Molly fucked up the party time. We're not good at times that events start. So we had a quick little run of where the venue was, I guess. So we went back on Saturday night. It was a SNL themed party, and everybody was dressed up. I was dressed like MacGruber. She was Vicky St. Clair. Angela was Turd Ferguson. Her husband, Charlie Winfrey, was the guy with the Will Ferrell guy with the patriotic thong on. And that was pretty hilarious. And it was a good setup. That, open bar, had a photo booth, had a karaoke going on. They had these little tiny cowbells where they put on the cowbell sketch and everybody was hitting their cowbells. It was a good time. So, it turned out for the best. Had a fuck up on the time, but it was a good time. Shout out to Charlie, Angela, everybody at the party. Costume parties and Halloween are kind of awesome. I don't think I've dressed up for Halloween the last couple of years, but that was always my favorite holiday, dressing up like a jackass and just hanging out or going to a party or a bar. It's a good time. So, yeah, it was good. They had great food. Everything was like themed SNL. Had sweaty balls for like meatballs and other themed SNL stuff. They had SNL on the TV and pretty cool. So shout out to Angela. Happy birthday. And yeah, have a good one. Guess we'll do a segment to wrap things up. I think the open mic is about to wrap up pretty soon, so I got to get rolling here pretty soon. Not a great open mic, like I said, but I think these new ones got potential, folks. I'll tell you right now, but you just can't handle them. They're too hilarious. If you're listening in your car, you'll probably laugh so hard you'll crash your car, and I don't want that. So just come out and see me live. Or come to an open mic and see that live. And, yeah, it's fun. Live comedy is way better than comedy on Netflix or other mediums. So check it out. Burp. The segment we're going to do is called What the Fuck Are We Doing Here? I think we've done it a few times in the past. Usually I have a guest. Tonight I don't. That's all right. I'm a weird guy. I'm awkward. I'm introverted. I don't really socialize well with people most of the time. So, what the fuck are we doing here with unnecessary small talk? We're strangers, and I'll be nice to you, I'd like to, and never gonna try to be a dickwad to you on purpose, but get a lot of unnecessary small talk at like a grocery store or something like that. And I'm trying my best, but I'm not good at small talk. So here's what happened the other day. Went to the grocery store. Everybody's had this happen. It's so relatable. This could be a premise from the 1980s, which I'm sure someone has covered in detail. But, you get up to the thing. Then you got the self-checkouts, which are garbage. Never do the self-checkout at a grocery store unless I only got a few items, but that's a whole nother story. Like to go to Aldi's. I'll get all my shit on the conveyor belt thingy. And you get up there and they start ringing your stuff out. They're like, oh, hello there. Did you find everything okay? Did you find everything you're looking for? And I got to be honest, a lot of the times there was a couple things that I didn't find. I don't know where everything is. I feel like I know my Aldi pretty well, but then they change stuff. They'll move the rice over to a new section, or they'll move the fucking crackers to around the bend. Are there bins in grocery stores? I don't know. But what am I going to do at this point? You're already ringing up my shit. And I go, oh, yeah, I was looking for canned, what do you call it, a Cheez Whiz. Cheese in a can, which I actually eat, which I shouldn't. Mitch Hedberg joke, insert right there. Yeah, I was actually wanting some Cheez Whiz to put on my crackers. Because I found the crackers, but I couldn't find the Cheez Whiz. What are they going to do at that point, Like, oh, well, do you want to walk like half a mile to aisle 2.5 over there around? It's kind of on the corner. It's near the chips, but not really. Like, well, no, I don't want to do that, There's people behind me here. They can't have me run over to aisle 2.5. That's no good. So, they're trying to do their job. They probably get told to ask if you found everything because they'd like to sell more items. But I didn't find everything that I'm looking for. And I'm just not going to say it. So that's fine. And they usually give you some weather banter as well. A weather small talk. Up to hot one out there today. Yeah, it is. It's Missouri, and we get about a week and a half of actually nice weather that's 75 degrees, and then it goes exactly to 100 degrees, which is where we're at now. But this is banked, so when this comes out, it might be even hotter or colder. I could bank this for 6 months, and then it'll be snowing outside. You don't know. You don't understand how the bank works. The banking system. I don't understand how the banking system works. So you get the banter at the grocery store. That's never great. And, I understand that this job of ringing things up is not, easy or fun necessarily, and you're just trying to get through the day, and I can appreciate that. You were friendly and nice, and I shouldn't be a dickhead. I'm just not that great with the little small talk, So I try my best. I'm like, oh yeah, it's fucking hot as shit out there. But that's not nice. You say obscenities like that? You can't say that. I don't say that. I'm like, oh yeah, it's pretty hot. And then where do you go from there? I don't know. I went to Home Depot the other day, and I only got a few things. So I had like a couple things for the house, and I was a little thirsty. So I went to their little bullshit cooler there by the checkout, and I grabbed a Monster energy drink. And I went to check out. The guy starts ringing up my stuff. He's like, oh, wow. I've never seen this flavor before. It was orange. Are you trying to tell me you've never had an orange flavored energy drink or a orange Gatorade or an orange soda? You don't understand the color and concept of orange? What are we doing here? And then I have to say, yeah, it's pretty good. Because it is. And maybe I'm turning this man on to the concept of orange and the flavoring involved. So that was not great. And I got the fuck out of there. Now I'm telling you people, because it was so off-putting to me that this guy did not know there was orange flavors in an orange can of Monster Energy drink. So, I'm trying my best out there, folks. I'm not doing a good job. If you would happen to listen to this and happen to see me out there in the wild, which is very rare, very probably not going to happen, say hi. Say, I like talking to people, but let's talk about something more serious, Let's skip the small talk. Oh, see, you got a Monster Energy drink there. You probably shouldn't drink that because it has guarana in it. That's not very good for the liver, I've heard, and I think you should make better choices because you're kind of turning into a fat fuck. I'd prefer that over, orange. That's just me, though. I'm a bit of a weirdo, and I'm not good at small talk, so let's get right to the big talk. Tell me about your day. What's a problem? Like, fucking, we're here at Home Depot, and yeah, I got all these self-checkout lines, and I'm over here at the one, where I check you out. And it's not great. I'm worried I'm going to be replaced because I've already been replaced 20 times, and there's only one line left of just a guy who rings up all your shit, which is way better. And then we can get into a whole robots suck and AI is going to kill us all, or, kind of not an argument, but more of a conversation. And that's not small talk. That's big talk right there. So, good luck out there if you're small talking or big talking or like mid-sized talking, but I'll try to get better at it. And, doing comedy stuff, probably try to throw a little snippet of something else with this episode. These solo episodes are something else. I feel like I'm small talking with myself, which is not that great up in here. Do you have anything to add? Oh, I forgot. There's not a guest there. Hope you're doing good out there. I'll have a guest next time on Back of the Room podcast.